For this skill, we're going to do all of the personal cares that you would when you get a person up in the morning. Personal cares and partial baths, skin care, dressing, undressing, all of those are done in the morning and at night when a person goes to bed. I'm going to show you a complete bed bath, but when you practice in lab and when you're working with your patients, you're just going to do partial baths, okay? Before you start working with your patient and getting them up in the morning, you want to have all of your supplies available. So I have my basin out here with warm water in it. I have my soap, my lotion, my washcloths, my towels. I have the patient's clothes, incontinent product, TED stockings I'm going to put on, shampoo trays over there. I have my garbage can available, and I have a plastic bag to put my dirty linens in as I am working with the patient. I want to make sure that they're in a comfortable position. I'm also going to make sure that I raise the bed up to my working height. I don't want to be bending over this whole time because it'll hurt my back. So then, to start for a bed bath, partial bath, or a complete bath, I'm going to take off the person's gown. Now, you can use a bath blanket here to make sure that the resident stays covered and is also warm during this time. So I'm just going to grab my bath blanket. To put over my patient. Then I'm just going to move their sheet down as well so that that way it stays dry and clean while we're doing this bath. In some nursing homes, they don't use the bath blankets as much for the partial baths, just so you're aware. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take this gown off underneath the bath blanket so that the resident is not exposed, but that I can get that off because it's dirty, and then I won't forget about, I won't put it back on accidentally. For the skills competency test, you put on another gown, so sometimes people forget and they just put on the dirty one. So I'm just going to take that off, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put it in my plastic bag. The next thing that I'm going to do for this partial bath is I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to have the resident check the water to make sure that it's the right temperature. So they can reach in, they can test it if it's warm enough. If they can't verbalize to me if that water is warm enough or not, I'm going to advocate for them and make sure that it's not too hot. Then I have all my supplies available here. So I'm just going to go ahead, I'm going to get one washcloth, and I'm going to get it nice and wet. And then I'm going to start with the face. When we wash a person's face, we don't put any soap on the washcloth. It's just a damp washcloth. To start, when you wash somebody's face, is you're going to start with their eyes. So you're going to start from the inner part of the eye and wipe out. You do that as many times as you need to. Sometimes there might be some crusty residue, something like that in there, so you want to make sure it's clean. Then you go to the other side. After that's done, you can go ahead and wash the entire face. Make sure that when you wash a resident's face that you also wash behind the ears and inside of the ears. You can't, you don't use Q-tips in the nursing home setting, but if you can use a washcloth, you can get in there and get some of that residue out. Behind the ears, and you wash all of that. When you're done, this is the only time you can reuse this washcloth, so you can put it back in the basin. The next thing you're going to do is just dry the face off nice and gently. Then you're going to go ahead and you're going to put a towel down underneath the resident's arm. You're going to wash this entire arm. So you're going to get your washcloth wet, and you're going to add soap to this washcloth. You start from the cleanest areas to the dirtiest areas, so if you wash the arm all over, being supportive of the limb, then you can go ahead and you can wash the hands. And the last part is you would wash the armpit. This is what you will demonstrate in the lab setting when you come to the lab. You're going to wash another partner's face, arm, hand, and armpit. So you're going to wear a tank top and shorts that day. Once you have all of that washed, you're going to rinse and dry. Now if I was in the nursing home setting to complete the bath, I would go ahead and I'd also wash the chest on this side and make sure I get all of the skin folds, okay? Once I'm done, this washcloth can go ahead and go in my plastic bag. Then I'm going to use my rinse washcloth. So I'll get that one wet, wring it out, and do the same exact thing. So I'm going to start with arm, supporting the limb, go to the hand, and lastly the armpit. Again, if I was in the nursing home setting, I could go ahead and rinse the chest as well. This washcloth will go into my plastic bag then. This towel that was laying underneath the arm can just be wrapped up, and you can use that to dry everything very thoroughly. And then you could dry the chest. I'd be able to move to the other side of the patient then to go ahead and continue on washing the upper body. So the upper body would be washed then. To do a complete bed bath, which you may do when you're working, you would bring out that patient's leg and you would put a towel down underneath that leg. And then you would get your washcloth wet, put soap on it, and you would wash that leg the same as you do the arm. This is for a complete bed bath. A complete bed bath is done if a person's on bed rest, if the person is unable to use the tub or the shower for some reason, if they have incisions or wounds. If they're on isolation, sometimes you could do a complete bath. So you wash their feet as well, and I'll show you foot care and nail care in another video. So once you have it washed, then you are going to go ahead and get a new washcloth. You're going to use that for a rinse. So you're going to rinse it the same way that you washed it. And then go ahead and go to the foot. When you do wash a foot, you wash in between the toes, you rinse in between the toes, and you dry in between the toes, but you don't put lotion in between the toes. And then again, you can use this towel to dry. It's underneath them. And then you could go to the other side and do the other leg for the complete bed bath. Once you have washed the patient up, then you do skincare. You put lotion on them. So you put lotion on your hands, get it nice and warm, and then go ahead and massage that onto their skin. You'll find in the nursing home setting especially, the elderly have very, very dry skin. So when you're doing partial baths in the morning and you're doing just the upper body, you're going to at least put lotion on their feet, and then that way you can look at their feet. So you're not going to wash their legs in the morning, but you're going to put lotion on them. And you're going to put lotion on their feet, just not in between their toes. Then you're going to inspect their feet. This is the perfect time to look at their skin. So you're going to pick their foot up, you're going to look underneath on their heel, in between their toes, underneath their toes, to see if there's any red, open, or sore areas. Once you have put the lotion on, this is a nice time, especially at night, to do a back rub. So if the person is laying down, I can put the head of the bed down a little bit here, and if the person's able to roll on their side, or if I have the side rail up, okay, 1, 2, and 3, I can go ahead and put lotion on and I can give them a good back rub. Back rubs are always done for 3 to 5 minutes. So you can give them a good back rub. You can put their gown on and then they could go to bed at night. Okay? The next thing after all of the bathing and skincare is done is we can do shampoo in bed. So if you have a person that they're on strict bed rest, they cannot get out of bed, you can wash their hair in the bed. How you would do that is you put the head of the bed all the way down. They do have to be able to have their head all the way down for this. And you have to have a towel available and a shampoo tray. Let me grab that. So this is a shampoo tray. that we have here on campus and a pitcher that you would use with water. So how you would do this is that you would pick the resident's head up, you would remove their pillow, put the shampoo tray underneath. I like to put a towel underneath on that plastic because it's hard. This has the spout going off onto that side, so I could put my garbage can and bring that over here onto this side so that when the water runs out, it runs into that garbage can. Or you can use a 5-gallon pail or whatever it is that you need. You would use your pitcher then and put water in it, and you could go ahead and pour that water over their hair. You could shampoo, you could get shampoo on your hands, and you could scrub their scalp and give them a nice good wash. Then you could go ahead and rinse that all off with water. You could just keep filling this up and keep pouring it until the water runs clear. And then lastly, you would just go ahead and you'd pick that up. You can even use this towel then to wrap around to dry their hair some. And then you could remove this shampoo tray and you could put their pillow back. Some nursing homes, you may or may not use a shampoo tray. You may have caps that can be put in the microwave that have a rinse-free residue in there for shampooing, or most nursing homes have salons with the sinks that you can use as well for shampooing. So once I have gotten my person completely all bathed, we're gonna go ahead and get them dressed. So there's a couple of things that we're gonna put on first. He has TED stockings that he wears for compression. So this particular TED stocking has an area for the heel that has a different pattern that you'll see in the lab setting. So this is where the heel goes, and this is where the toe is. In order to put on a TED stocking, you will have them laying down. These TED stockings have to be put on before the person's heart raises above their legs. So before he gets out of bed, he has to have these stockings on. It helps with edema and swelling. You'll take the stocking and you'll bring it all the way down to the heel, and you'll turn it inside out and put it all onto the resident's foot. So if you get the toe part on first, and then you're gonna work your way up the leg. Sometimes it's better to be on this side and work up. Sometimes it's better to be on this side and work your way onto the leg. For my patient, it's a little difficult because he's a mannequin. So I'm not gonna try to put it on all the way, but in lab setting, you're gonna see it's a lot easier when they can kind of keep their foot pointed for you. So you just work your way up. You wanna make sure that you're forceful to get it on, but you're not gonna hurt the patient, okay? When it's completely on, it needs to be on with no wrinkles, no twists, and you need to make sure that the heel is actually on the heel part, okay? So that's what we're looking for, and that's what Headmaster's looking for when you do the state competency skills. So we will put the stockings on first while they're comfortable. These stockings also never ever go to laundry. They get washed out with soap and water by hand, wrung out really, really good with a couple of towels, and then hung in the patient's bathroom to dry overnight so that in the morning they can be put back on. The next thing that I'm going to do for my patient is I'm going to get their incontinent products on and their clothes on. So I'm gonna put the side rail up on this side because I'm gonna be rolling him to me and away from me. For incontinent products you're gonna see out there, there are these pull-ups, or depends, depending on what the nursing home calls them. A lot of times it'll either have a size number here or stripes, and that is for the back. So this is the back of this incontinent product, and they just slide on like undergarments do, okay? The other thing that you're gonna see out there are these, and these are called briefs. For this one, it does have a yellow line down the middle of it. This yellow line will turn green or blue when this incontinent product is wet. So it has the Velcro or sticky straps here for the back side, and this is the front side. So to put my incontinence product on my resident, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to cross their legs in the direction that I'm going to roll them, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to roll him away from me. So I'm going to have his arms up here. On the count of 3, you're going to roll away. 1, 2, and 3. Now, I'm going to move the back blanket so that you're able to kind of see a little bit what I'm doing here. But I'm going to take this incontinent product, and I'm going to be mindful of how high I put it in the back, because if you put it up too high in the back, you're not going to have enough in the front. So I want it to cover this area down here. So I'm going to put it there, and I'm going to take this side, and I'm going to tuck it underneath, kind of like occupied bed. I'm going to tuck that part underneath, and then I'm going to bring my resident back down, 1, 2, and 3. I'm going to switch their legs around. I'm going to roll them towards me. 1, 2, and 3, just a little bit, just to get that other side out. Now what I can do is I can bring up the front, and I can go ahead and I can strap that. So now the incontinent product is on for this resident. The next thing that I'm going to do, and he already has the stockings on, the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put his pants on. Okay, so I have his pants. I'm just going to get my arm all the way down that pant leg, reach my hand through, grab onto that foot, and I'm going to slide that up. I want to support his limbs the whole time. For the competency test, you will have a patient that has a weak side from a stroke, so you will have to move their limb for them when you are dressing them. When you dress a resident that has a weak side, you always dress the weak side first. If you undress a resident with a weak side, you would undress the strong side first. So I'm going to move those pants up as high as I can get them, because I can always pull them back down. Now before I roll my resident, I want to get their shirt on too, so I don't have to roll them too many times. So for the shirt, I'm just going to do the same thing. I'm going to put my hand through the arm, right here. I'm going to grab a hold of their hand, and I'm going to pull that through. Now I'm going to cover their front, and then we're going to roll them. So, hands across their chest. So I'm going to roll him away from me first, so 1, 2, and 3, rolling up. At this point, I'm going to take those pants and I'm going to pull them up as high as I can on this side, and I'm going to take this shirt and I'm going to tuck it all the way underneath him as far as I can on this side. Come back down, 1, 2, and 3. Now, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to roll him towards me. One more roly-poly. 1, 2, and 3. When I roll them this way, I want to get that shirt all the way out, and I want to get those pants all the way up. 1, 2, and 3 down. So now I can go ahead, and the patient would be able to, with their strong side, put their hand in themselves. And then I can take this bath blanket out of here and put it in my plastic bag. And then I could go ahead and I could button up my patient, tuck in their shirt so that they're looking nice, and then I can pull their pants back down now that they've been tucked in. And at this point, we could go ahead and we could get them up and ready for the day. And that concludes the personal hygiene skills.